So there you are. Also, then you move to something like a clay brick and a cement brick. We did those exercises as well. But I learned that you've got to be very careful what people understand. For the clay brick, people came back to say, we need 2 bags of cement to make the clay bricks. So the clay brick and the cement brick got confused. They heard brick, or they read brick, and then, although I said clay brick, they came with cement. So, but we had lots of fun in the class, let me tell you that. There's just the BRICS nations require education shot in the arm. I think our multilingual situation is difficult, and sometimes our education suffers because of it. I don't know the answer. My head still spins after yesterday's presentations by my learned colleagues. I'm not a researcher. I have to be very practical. And I'm seeing what you're grappling with. I never knew it was that difficult. But nevertheless. Just almost in conclusion, the American Society of Civil Engineers body of knowledge, around 2010, they said the professional of the future will look different to the one we know now. And they sat down and they spent months with a committee to say, what does that person look like? Or the professional civil engineer. And I'm coming back to the issue that you're not supposed to be able to write or speech or whatever as a civil engineer. They came and they said Vision 2020, and then they designed the body of knowledge, and I think most of my colleagues will know what the body of knowledge is, what's to be contained in there. And they sent me 2 chapters to help edit, if you like. The one on sustainability, and then one interesting, they said, the perspective from a developing country. I did quite a little bit of work in Africa, so I think I had a feeling for it. But very little remained of those chapters. Lots of read and deleted, because the Americans don't understand that well. They tend to live in a world of their own. But that's where it came from. And I eventually concluded that with teachers, lecturers, and the professionals in the future, you actually want super man-womans, and I coined that phrase because I didn't want to leave one of the genders out. So we're looking to create superman or superwoman. It's very difficult to lecture in today's world and know all the things you need to. It's the language, it's the technology, it's very, very difficult. But what they did is they then came with 20 outcomes they want a professional engineer, a civil engineer to have. And then the foundationals. But look at this, foundational outcomes. Mathematics and natural sciences, yeah, we knew that, eh? Guess what? Humanities, social sciences. Now I had to learn by the hard way. I had to earn the trust of people in Greylandstad, where I had to sit down with the elders of the little town. They lived against the hillside. That was in my housing trust years. They didn't trust me. And they didn't speak my language. And I said, why don't you want to speak to me? They said, but you're an engineer and you clever people, we can't speak to you. So I spent 6 weeks going there every week, sitting down on the floor with these people, the elders. And then they started talking. And then we could start talking housing, infrastructure, etc. So trust is a big thing. But humanities, social sciences. Then the other usual ones, there's nothing, yes, time. Yeah. Sustainability, etc. There's it. Outcome 16, communication, public policy, business and public administration, and guess what? Globalization. Leadership, teamwork, attitudes. And somebody said, if a person's attitude is correct, you can do a lot with that person. But if a person's attitude is wrong, you go nowhere, etc. Now, Crossed fingers don't hold up bridges. This was at the Cape Town airport for a long while. I think this is it's an advertisement of Alan Gray, I think. I think this is very, very nice one to end off with. If we cross fingers and hope things will get right, it won't. You've got to get stuck in there and do the work. Teachers are very special people, but we want them to do superhumans. There's no time to experiment with learners. We see some of the results at university of different ways of teaching now. And I feel sorry for some of them because you can't change that later in life. We have got one chance to educate and equip them. We live in a world of branding, Google and emoji. Maybe we should embrace it. I try it out from time to time. Seems to work. We should never underestimate what our responsibility as educators are. And I still remember my sub-8 teacher. There was no grade R or what? 1. I still remember, I can see her in front of me because she changed my life. So in education, very important. I believe there's a language gene. Not all of us will write or speak easily. It's just like people with music in their veins, etc. That makes some of us better. Although engineering students are attracted because of maths, but now we want them to be good speakers and writers. So think about that. And some of the, way back in the 60s, our Professor De Vos had a seminar program. I was, Pretoria University 66, started there. And he actively said, we've got to be able to talk and stand up in front of people and present something. And then he said, in your second language, which was English for me, and about a non-technical subject. So I chose the book, The Life of the Spider by a certain Faber, but it's not easy. It's not easy. Never underestimate the unintended results of your deeds and actions. Just look what happened in Babylonia. Babylonians built a tower to reach the sky, and when God came down, He landed us with all the trouble about languages we are in today. So be careful what you intend. And I leave you now with a paraphrased version of what Past President Thabo Mbeki said as to us as Institution of Civil Engineering in 2003. He said, you are, and I would like to say, you are the Leonardo da Vinci's of the 21st century, but remember who you serve. Not only modern and emancipated, arrived society of today, but also those with the broken fingernails, those from the gutters of life, those who still aspire to become respected and well-to-do. And I believe there's a message for us as educators and as professionals in here. Remember, who are we looking after, etc. I thank you.